Hey everybody, welcome to MT Guitar. Thanks for joining us today, thanks for watching, and please remember to subscribe if you haven't. Hit the notification bell, hit the thumbs up, and I really appreciate it. So today we're doing Music Theory Lesson number 4, Part 1. And this video is really about shifting our thinking together as a channel towards when we're inside of a key. How do we think of the notes? And do we think of them as letters only, or in addition to letters, Roman numerals and scale degrees? And I'd go so far as to even almost abandon the letter names when you're really firmly inside of a key, because they'll always be there in the back of your head if you need them, and you can always find them, but sometimes it can be much quicker to access notes through a number system, a numeric system. And I've really benefited from this a lot, and I want to share this with you. And so this video is really breaking down the difference between the two, what they both are. Hopefully that'll shed some light on that for you. And then part 2, I'll do some exercises and some actual examples that we can dig into, so that when we do those exercises, we can kind of translate the concepts that we'll be dealing with today. So with that, let's zoom in and get to work. All right, so as we get deeper into music theory, I'll be teaching kind of a little bit from multiple systems, and that can be a little confusing, but in the long run, it's actually very helpful to do that, because when you look at something from different perspectives and different styles of teaching, it'll actually help to create a more holistic picture of what you're trying to understand, which is, in our case, music and guitar, which are both incredibly complex, to be honest. The guitar especially is difficult to understand how music theory works, but I will do my best in showing you the way that works best for me. And the ways, really, it's multiple ways. So if I'm in the key of C, let's start this lesson by addressing the conventional method of sharps and flats, and I'll show you a quick trick so that you can understand, at least be aware of what's going on. So from the key of C, there's no sharps or flats, all the white keys of a piano. Quite nice if you're a pianist, but for guitar, it doesn't really make a huge difference in the fretboard. It just means that there are no sharps and flats. It's just a fact. But we still have, quite complex scales in the key of C. That being said, we want to still take this seriously. So we know that that has no sharps or flats. Now, if we go in the circle of fifths, we will add a sharp every time. And if I think of, what does that mean, circle of fifths? Well, it means if I find the fifth of C, and I'm already starting to use the numbers, which shows my bias towards the numbers a little bit. If I think, okay, I need to go to the fifth to do the circle of fifths. 1, I learn my C major scale and I play 2, 3, 4, 5. Now I'm at a G, key of G major, and that has 1 sharp. So every time I go to the fifth of the next chord, I add another sharp. So that would be 1 sharp. Go to the fifth of G. By the way, the sharp is F. It's always the note or the letter right below the root, or the 1. The 1 in the root is G. So the 1 right below that is F sharp. So that's the sharp that we added. Okay. Now I'm going to go up to the fifth of G. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now I'm at D. I add a sharp. And what is that sharp that I just added? And pause the video if you want to think about that. That sharp is the note below D, the root. So that's C sharp. So now the key of D has 2 sharps, F sharp and C sharp. All right, now I go to the fifth, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's A major, 3 sharps. I added a G sharp. Now I go to the fifth of that, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's E major. Now I've added another sharp. Now there's 4 sharps, and I added D sharp. So it has F sharp, G sharp, C sharp, D sharp. And that's what that key signature would look like if you looked at music notation. And it goes on to B, 5 sharps, and then lastly to F sharp, 6 sharps. Okay, and you could do C sharp major which would be 7 sharps. And it is theoretically possible, but kind of unnecessary because we can do D flat major instead. So we'll get to the flats. So you pretty much end it at F sharp. Now, going the other direction, if we go the circle of fourths, we add a flat, not a sharp, but a flat. So go up to the 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, which is F. We add a B flat. Now the secret with that, the circle of fifths, some of my music teachers have told me is magical when I was learning music as a teenager, and I totally believe them then and now. It's so true. So what's happening with the B flat is that it's foreshadowing the next key. So it's different than the sharps trick with the note below. So it's foreshadowing the next key. So we added a B flat, and then the next key is B flat. Okay? Because that's the fourth of F. Now we add a flat, and we add E flat, which is the fourth, and it's the next key. Then we add A flat, which is the next key. Okay? And I'm just doing this by walking up to the 4. Now we go to the D flat, which is the next key. And we added that flat on the A flat key. Now D flat, we add G flat to the D flat key, and now G flat. Okay. And once you get there, the next key would be C flat, which if there's any music theory, if there's any people who have music theory experience in here, you would know that C flat is just not necessary. We can just do the key of B. So point is that G flat is the last key before we're pretty much done. So that's 6 flats. So there you have your 12 keys. I just went through all 12 keys right there, and hopefully not too much time. And the point of this video is to show you that that's good to know, but once we're inside of a key, we want to stop thinking about sharps and flats so much because it's a little bit distracting. So let's go back to the key of C. And if I say, hey, play me a 1-4-5, it's fine because I know that F and G is the 4 and the 5 when I count up. So that's not so much a problem. Let's go to a more advanced key. Let's go to E major. And somebody says, hey, play me a 1, 2, 3, 6 progression. And so, oh my goodness, okay, I gotta go 1, I gotta count to 2. I don't know what a 1, 2, 3, 6 is, so I have to count the letters a little bit. E, F sharp, oh, that's F sharp, and then 3 is G sharp, and then C sharp minor. And I have to pause and think about that. Or I could know the numerical system no matter what key it is, and say, okay, 1, 2, 3, 6, to the 5, to the 4. And I'm not even worried about it. 3, 2, I could care less if there's sharps in this key. 5, 6. Now I know my chord theory, and I'll be teaching you that soon. So I can sort of translate what 3 and 2 means as far as if it's a major or minor. But the point remains that my brain doesn't have to do as much work to go to those chords because I don't have to remember the letters and the sharps and how many sharps each key has. So, like I said, I wanted to go over each of these elements so that they could be introduced. And really, I haven't given you enough information to actually dig deep into these yourself. So this is part 1. And let's continue one more example before we sign off. So let's say I'm in the key of G, which is a great guitar key. And let's say I have a melody that, I need to learn. And I don't have a video to watch, so I just try to read the notes, and I don't really know how to read music, let's say. Or somebody tells me the notes, and I have to kind of figure it out. So somebody says, go to F sharp, then to E, then to D. And I'm thinking, okay, F sharp, I guess, is here. It takes a while. So that would be one way to do it. And I love reading music. I highly recommend learning how to read music. But in a rock and pop format, when we're learning songs, I actually use a numeric system as well for melodies. So if I said, hey, the melody starts on the 7th degree and goes down to the 6th and the 5th. That would be F sharp, E, D. But I know the G major scale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And there's 7 notes in the scale. So I start at the last note of the scale and just work down to the 5. See, so I'm not saying that it's easier to play that just because of thinking of it as numbers, but I am saying that it's easier to access that once you learn the scales. And I will teach you the scales soon, and this is going to kind of continue, but I wanted to shift our thinking as a channel to understanding the idea behind a numeric system. So I think that'll do it as an introduction, as a part one. And as you're playing chord progressions and as you're playing songs, go ahead and challenge yourself and start to think about Roman numerals and scale degrees when you're playing both chords and riffs. And enjoy. We'll see you soon. All right, well done, everybody. So plenty to chew on here, and music theory is a passion of mine, so if you like this video, leave a comment below, and looking forward to seeing you in the next lesson. Bye.